what I would really like you to do this evening, if you're watching us here at It's a Sling Thing, is to drop a note in the comments or a like or anything else to say that you can hear us, because we're trying out something here that might not work. And yeah, we're on a campsite. So me and Jen are here at the Slingababy family camp with wonderful Lorette from Slingababy and Emily from CalmFamily, and lots and lots of other people who are all hiding out there because we've chucked them out of the room for the evening.
Lots of feral children. I mean, lots of children expressing themselves. A lot.
Yeah. So we would really like to know if you can hear us, basically, as a first start. And if anyone is out there watching. But other than that, we're going to just have a little bit of a chat to Lorette and Emily about what they do and why that's important work and why carrying is an important part of what they do.
And how that relates to normal infant behaviour, or normal child behaviour.
So, again, say hi if you're watching, drop a comment and if you can hear us, or let us know if there's any problems. And we're just going to start with Lorette introducing herself.
Hello. So I run Slingababy, and we're currently at the Slingababy family camp. So Slingababy is a baby carrying school. So it started just over 5 years ago. We've trained over 500 people, 500 people, including the peer supporters. Mostly have consultants. So we've got lots all over the world. There's some in nearly every single continent. Nobody in Antarctica yet, but who knows? It might happen one day. And yeah, we do a lot of work on helping people teach parents in a way that is realistic, because there's what you want to do on paper and there's what you want to do with real children. So we take that into account, as well as the stories that are in. So every family is different, and that needs to be taken into account in how we support families. So it's all very good understanding about the slings. It's also very important understanding about children, and even more important understanding about family dynamics. So we cover a lot of this in our courses. And here at Slingababy Family Camp is kind of the treat for all Slingababy consultants, where we just get to bring our families together and recharge our batteries with nature. And it's all very, very lovely. So that's what we do. Thank you. All right, we're going to say hi to Kerry.
Hi, Kerry.
She says hi.
The camp is as awesome as always. I think this is the first one I've been to, but it's awesome. So
yeah, come again, Kerry. You're still welcome. All right, so now Emily, can you tell me all about you?
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm the Managing Director of CalmFamily. We're education and support community, so we're a CIC, a social enterprise, and we educate and support parents mostly all over the UK, but we also have consultants in 5 other countries across the globe, and we're looking to expand that. What we do is go from a real science-based and evidence-base of psychology, of neuroscience, and of real infant and toddler behaviour. So it's baby calm and toddler calm classes that we run at the moment, and we are looking to expand that as well into different age groups. So we educate parents on those things, but we also do it in a really supportive way. So it's important to have evidence and present real knowledge about children and how they really behave. But it's also really important that we do that in an empowering way, and we do that whilst we're empathising for parents and children, because just giving the information doesn't really support parents. So we do that really holistically, and I've been educating now our educators that go out into the community for 3 years, and running our business for about 3 years. So yeah, it's really exciting. My journey to here came through Slingababy. I've done tons and tons of qualifications, lots, in infant massage, in psychology, human biology, but also in slings. It's one of the ways that I became really interested, and Lorette taught me most of what I know. But certainly inspired me to do the work that we're doing in the way that we're doing it, and to work in a really collaborative and a really human way. So Slingababy has a lot to be proud of, even for what we do in CalmFamily, which is fantastic.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud that you could, and you took on the work. Yeah.
baby camp.
I need to sleep then. It's so wonderful. I'm really happy actually.
So obviously, Jen and I are also trained through Slingababy. That is kind of how I met Jen, because I wouldn't have, if I hadn't done that training, I
You
would
were my consultant.
because I was Jen's consultant, and that's how kind of we ended up with It's a Sling thing as well, because it was a connection through Slingababy that led to us taking over. So
It's a bit of a group hug kind of moment.
It's been a good. Well, it's also a good time to announce, if you're happy to do that actually It's a Sling thing and CalmFamily are going to be working really, really close together for a long time now. We've been talking about it, but actually it's becoming reality within the next couple of months that It's a Sling thing are going to be our shop, running our shop and offering services to CalmFamily clients. So we are really together in this now, which is just fabulous.
So one of the things that we're keen to do is not just support the parents that we work with the slings, but offer them kind of ways of getting to support that perhaps isn't available to them in person in the town where they live, which is one of the reasons It's a Sling thing exists anyway. If you're struggling with your parenting journey, which a lot of us are in various ways, in-person support is incredibly valuable, but it just isn't always there. And people do struggle without that support network around them. So the option of having something online and something that you can access in a different way is something that we're very passionate about being able to offer. So as well as just working with Emily on the shop front, we're going to be looking at what else we can do going forward. So it's like a whole long-term plan.
It's going to be such a deep partnership because at the moment we're offering lots and lots of knowledge and support around parenting and attachment theory and all that kind of responsive parenting, with slings are one of the tools that you can use to do that. And you've been doing, look at all the slings, but also when you support with slings, you end up talking to them about things that we talk about as well. And so it's just a really natural kind of bonding of two organisations and not three organisations really.
Lorette's just going to oversee everything and look real very pleased with us.
I have,
I did
well, I didn't do it. You did it all by yourselves, I just gave you an update to start it. We have lots of
got little children banging on the windows.
Hello.
So we're going to wave at the children.
Yeah, and hope someone else is going to look after them. Really?
Yeah, we've got people watching.
Lots of adults.
Right.
So we were talking specifically about child behaviour, what's normal, and how carrying can be such a useful tool to help with the vast numbers of children who are about to break into
there. That's right.
And this is normal child behaviour.
Emily can start.
There you go.
You want to come and say
So, why do I say this is normal child behaviour? Because our children want to be involved in our adults' lives. They are just humans who are smaller and their brains work slightly differently to us, but they want to be connected to us. They want to see what we're doing because they learn from us through the process of modelling. So actually they always want to be part of our lives, and if we're doing something, especially when we've said
because the most interesting thing you can possibly do is to tell them nope, this is not for you,
this is adult time. And then it's fascinating.
What is it? Well, it's just life, isn't it? There's no clear separation between people.
Well, actually, childhood is just a construct that we've socially decided upon, right? It's not a real thing. Childhood, we talk about this 18 years of childhood. It isn't actually a thing. We just made it up so that we could work out how the rules were around all this stuff.
It's quite a random number as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're looking at maturity, brain development. The physical maturity somewhere between 9 and 14, maybe, or maybe more. If you're talking about brain development, like 21 years.
Alice is going to sing us a song.
Yes, let's stop.
There we go.
Hope you enjoyed that. Even though your children are probably in bed, but here they're not.
No,
they're all running wild.
One of mine
both of mine are in bed. Both of mine just conked out.
Smug.
No, I think we're going to be up from 3 o'clock tomorrow morning.
We're all looking forward to it.
You're right.
One of the really nice things about being here with all of these people who are all very passionate about similar things to us is that they are passionate. That's right, Alan. Is that actually all of our children have just kind of run wild together, and we've all watched them and taken care of them and made sure that they're safe. But it's been really nice to just be able to let them go and let them explore on their own.
Would it be better if you went to see them out there?
Yeah.
Is it worth talking about types of behaviour that parents often struggle with? The kinds of behaviour that often leads to people getting in touch with It's a Sling thing or CalmFamily.
Well, I think a lot of people are worried about the gaining of independence. I think that's quite a common thing that comes, and then that's quite a common feel that comes with the slings as well. I like to think that children need to feel secure, and the more we push them away, the more they will cling on to us, because they're wondering what's going on. So in a way, the more we allow them to come close, and we accept that their need for closeness. I mean, they started 100% dependent really when they were in the womb. The more they can take it at their own pace and trust us to give them that freedom little by little.
Little by little.
Yeah, little by little. This is my assistant. I think in about 20 minutes she'll be taking care of Slingababy for me.
She knows the spiel.
She does, yeah.
Yeah.
You've got this.
Yeah, she's got this.
And a lot of parents, so often, people are like the idea of carrying in a sling, and they will come to us, and they're very keen on the idea anyway. But they would kind of get to the end of the conversation with us and then go, but should I be making sure not to carry them too much, or should I be limiting how long they're in the sling, or is there a time limit to this? And they're very valid concerns, because what we have fed into us from wider society is very different to potentially the reality of actually having a baby.
Certainly the images that are used around baby advertising are really peaceful.
Oh, it's always very peaceful, isn't it?
Really beautiful images. And then the reality can often be this little red-faced, angry-looking thing that when it's fast asleep, it's fast asleep, you put it down and it just screws up and screams, and like, what is wrong with my baby? Why isn't it sleeping in a basket like on all the pictures? And that's mostly because they're not photoshopped, and that's what babies do. They're used to being inside you, and then all of a sudden they're not, and absolutely everything has changed, and there are smells, and it's big, and when they push away there is nothing there, and everything is different, and it's not warm, and they're wearing clothes, and they get hungry, and all of these things, and they're a bit like, what happened? Why did it happen?
It's definitely something that we talk about a lot, certainly when we're talking about babies in that 4th trimester period, and we call it that because it's such a huge transition from womb to world, and we really get parents to empathise and to understand what babies are going through, because actually in that first period it's just completely terrifying for babies. So they are scared most of the time, if we're not careful to try and make their environment much more similar to what they're used to and be as connected as possible. So what you were saying about worrying about how much we carry them, bearing in mind that when we're carrying them close to us in a sling or in arms, a sling is really just a tool for helping us get our hands back so we can have a cup of tea and do whatever we want to do, right? Look after other children is a really common one.
Go to the
toilet. Yeah, even with a sling on, absolutely. Eating is really useful. But it's when you're doing that, it's that kind of mimicking of that environment which makes them feel much safer. And what I was going to say was, you can't carry too much on a psychological basis, right?
And you love too much.
No, exactly that. So what we're talking about is attachment theory says that if you create a safe base, if you make your child feel utterly secure and safe and as if they're attached to you at the beginning, that gives them something to grow independence from. They can't ever feel confident in being away from you if they've never experienced feeling safe in the first place. So that attachment in those early days and weeks is so super important to independence. So lots of people are scared with slings, and they're asking, partly they might be asking about physical development, which we can talk about as well, but in the psychological development, and from a neuroscience point of view as well, because of building those brain connections, carrying cannot be done too much. And I wouldn't even say just in the early weeks or the early, we talk about the fourth trimester a lot when we're talking about slings. Actually, I would say in the first 5 years of life even. But in those early years of life, it's, you're still building that safe base. So people who get really concerned that their 3-year-old still wants to be carried, they need that. That's absolutely fine.
And then moving from a point, like you're moving from 100% in the womb, they were carried 100% of the time. It's always going to be less than that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It usually decreases, mostly as they get older, with periods needing to be held more. But if you think, however much you think you're carrying them, if it feels like a lot, if you think about it as a percentage of what they're used to, which is all the time, it's not that much.
So today I haven't used a sling.
I haven't actually used a sling yet today,
but my 3.5-year-old has been carried a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And cuddled a lot and laid down with, and just needed to be handheld and just, cuddled close, because it's been he's not scared here, but it's still overwhelming. There's a lot of children here that he doesn't know well. There's a lot of people here, there's a lot of stuff. So,
and adults here.
Yeah, that he doesn't know. And so he's wanted that reassurance that me and his dad and his brother as well, in fact, have been close by, that he can go and get that reassurance from. So it hasn't stopped just because he's now 3.5, even like my 5-year-old, even probably your 15-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, she's come to me, she struggles sometimes. Actually, she's really confident in terms of having had a safe base, but she's still yet to mature. She's got brain development going all the way up to 21. At 15, she's not fully mature. She is in many ways. But it's really important that she still has her safe base to come back to. She ventures out all kinds of places. She could go to London on her own. However, today she's feeling a bit overwhelmed by so many people here, and struggling. So we've had a lot of cuddles actually. And she comes into the kitchen and cooking and does that, and that's important. So I don't carry her in a sling anymore. She's taller than me. No, not weight issue. She's quite light. But yeah. No, so not that so much, but it is. It does continue on.
And she drew these.
She
lovely images for us. Oh, that's a shame.
Oh no, they can see them. They can see them. They are there.
Lovely pictures behind us.
So Leanne has said, you have had a lot of comments such as, you're making a rod for your own back. You'll never be able to put her down. You're making her a needy baby. So Leanne, do you find her a needy baby? Like, are you finding that what they're saying is true or not?
Can I just Paisley's only a few months.
Can I just take the context away, because
because she's no longer inside me, it doesn't mean I don't want her still attached to me. And she said she's got horses and dogs, and with Paisley and her carrier, she can do everything that she used to do. So it's helping her to carry on living her life, but keeping her baby happy and content at the same time.
So we need to change the conversation, because it's really easy for us to say, oh, well, it won't make your baby a clingy baby. Well, yes, it will, because your baby is supposed to cling to you. That's what they're supposed to do. That's their job. So we need to really change people's understanding. What it won't do is make them a clingy adult.
Or a clingy toddler. So today I have carried in a sling. I carried in a sling and in a towel. My 4-year-old, only my 4-year-old, because my 2-year-old has been off. Like, my 2-year-old comes back when he needs something, and that's about it. So, kind of like, where is he? Oh no, okay, he's just He is still around. Just haven't seen him for a long time, and he's okay doing that. But he's pretty confident, and he's pretty sure that at the moment he's pretty sure that everyone loves him. Just go up to anybody.
There's a big thing as well with, I think parents don't realize before they have children, before they become parents, how much is involved into parenting, really. And I think, you know, the making for a rod for your own back is not about whatever you do, it's having the children in the first place. You know, they have changed your life. They have changed what you need to do. You have a responsibility to these little people who need you to transition to adulthood so that one day they can look after their own children and keep the human species going. You know, it's not the carrying that will make life difficult. You know, we're actually using it to make our life easy. It's one tool to help us through the parenting, which is hard work. It is extremely hard, and I think that's the one thing we don't talk enough about. Yeah, it's wonderful, it's beautiful, like the adverts, without the whites, but definitely the smiles. There are times where it's wonderful being a parent, and it's just the most beautiful thing ever, and I would never go back. But it's sometimes so hard and relentless, and I think that's the bit we need, and that's when the sling becomes useful. The sling is not always a place for love, it's also a place for doing what we have to do to keep going, because it is so hard.
And sometimes babies scream in slings too. Sometimes babies scream when you put them down, and they scream when you hold them, and they scream when you put them in a sling. But in a sling you can go to the toilet and go for a walk and get outside, because sometimes screaming doesn't seem quite so soul-piercing, mind-numbing, and horrifically painful when you go for a walk.
So the research shows us that when a baby's screaming and left, the cortisol level is extremely high. When a baby is screaming and very distressed, in arms, being held by someone or being held in a sling, the cortisol level is so much lower. Not, you know, where it normally naturally is. They're still upset, but they're being supported. They're being loved to do that. And it's the same if you think about an adult as sitting and sobbing your heart out on your own, or having somebody that you love and you feel safe with holding you and listening to you and caring about you. So, you know,
put me in
this. I think one of the things, so I was that parent who thought that my child would be, you know, put somewhere else and that I'd have a baby and it would be fine and it would be lovely, but I would go back to work and, you know, they would sleep in a different room to me. I would carry them. I would check with the cat. And I was that person until I had a baby.
I was that person through my first two babies, right? So I didn't discover that this was even a concept until I was on my third child. I have four. So, you know, it's completely normal, and everybody goes through a different process to get to that point, and it's wonderful when people realise it.
Yeah, it's quite a aha moment, isn't it?
Exactly.
It was, and so I came across slings because they were a tool, but it wasn't a tool to keep my baby calm. It was because I was in a wheelchair when I was pregnant, so I anticipated being in a wheelchair when I had a baby, and I could move around the house, but only if I had things to hold on to, and I can't hold on to things and carry a baby. So how was I going to do that? Hang on, I can strap the baby to me and move around the house, and so I needed a sling. So I got a sling, and that was going to solve all of my problems. And actually, my problems turned out to be very different to how I imagined, because I could walk, which was a surprise. But my baby still didn't want to be put down, or, you know, didn't want to be put down very much at all. And so the tool that I thought I needed for one purpose, it turned out I actually needed for a completely different purpose, but I had it. And so I spent quite a long time going, I should keep him there. He should sleep in his basket. I should be able to make a cup of tea and him not scream. I should be able to do, and I couldn't do any of the shoulds. So in the end, I put him in a sling, and then we carried him around. And then I turned up at sling meet with a very, very heavy, small baby going, it's not working for me anymore. What do I need? This baby is not working anymore. My children are lovely. They are lovely. They are not. They are lovely. My children are lovely, but they're a bit difficult.
There are
kids are difficult.
10 children between the 4 of us.
That's right. Cool. Yes, 4 and 2 and 2 and 2. Yeah.
I'm taking the weight.
Good maths.
And I know, because I've spoken to all of you, that and I know that your histories, that we've all come to kind of these positions and these understandings in very different ways and very different paths. And I think that's actually a really valid thing to talk about as well, because I think a lot of people expect that if you're using a sling, if you're parenting in a specific style, then you're a specific kind of person.
It's not a package.
No,
it's not a cult either. We have a camp.
It's not 6-box sheets, you know.
No,
you have a child, they have natural behaviors, that's for sure. They have lots of things that are completely normal for human, you know, infants. Our species do a lot of things that are similar, but how we respond to it is very much tainted with our own stories. And we were, you know, but pre-children, we were very, very different people, you know. And if it wasn't for our children, maybe we would not be in the same room together. We definitely wouldn't be right now in the same room together. Our children have been, you know, a big thing in our stories.
Yeah, it's important.
With a lot of teaching.
But it's important to understand that, actually, that our children bring out sides of us that, you know, we are this one person. One of the hardest things about parenting, it's wonderful too, but one of the hardest things about parenting is your children are showing you yourself, you know. They're just, you know, this is you. Yeah. And even as infants, because you suddenly see your reactions and you go, whoa, what was that about?
And you see your parents.
Sometimes you see your parents. I started parenting and I started using commands in French. Now you're French, I'm not French. But
I'm not a parent.
but my parents spoke to me in French when I was a child, and I hadn't spoken those phrases, a word for what, 20 years, and then suddenly they came out of my mouth. Like, what was that about? So some really deep stuff goes on when you start parenting children, and that's difficult for a lot of parents to deal with, and it's really important that when we work with parents that we help them think about those things and look at and just mostly just understand themselves and go, okay, that's about this, I can deal with that, and therefore I can then respond in a hopefully positive way to my child.
And I think that's my own experience of that would say that that's a long journey. That was very much ongoing.
But it's a constant. It is always ongoing.
Well, life is a journey, right? You know, there's learning every single day. Some of it is nice and lovely, and some of it is very painful. And the one that lasts the most is usually very painful.
Someone said something to me that stuck with me recently, was that thinking of things where you feel like you've paid dearly for something as school fees. So that you've literally paid the fee to learn something that was really important to you and has actually taught you something very valuable. But everything has that kind of.
Although I like to say we're not expensive. You know, the first outlay might look like it, but
mind you, the money I paid for Slingababy is probably the best money I've ever spent in my life.
I'm like
life-changing.
Life-changing, and you know, it's
I would literally call it life-changing, and have more than once with
that's because our banning should, and banning should just changes anyone's life. You know, just start with that. You know, that's the free tip. There you go. My gift to you tonight.
You don't use
ban
the
the
word
should. Never should.
Absolutely. I go around when I'm talking about your training, I'm like, don't tell Lorette this, but I would pay double for her training.
Well, you're always welcome to tell my payment. Your donation are welcome. You can also pay for someone else to pay. Don't ever feel you can't give me money. You know, I've got a big heart, but I also have big bills.
It's been what I like about both the kind of Slingababy and about the CalmFamily, like families, is that it's not just about one thing, and it's not just about one type of person or this. It's not. It's about everything, and it's about empowerment, and it's about giving people back their own choices. One of the reasons that if you come to us and say, I want the best sling, we won't tell you what to buy or what to use or what to hire, is because of the training that we've done with Lorette, partly, and the way that she's taught us to work with parents. is to take the information that you're giving us about your lives and then give you your options. It's our job to give you, to filter through the knowledge.
I was thinking about a kind of analogy for this earlier, because we're on a campsite, and so there's a load of people who go camping a lot, and they often have big cars, or they have tow bars, and they have trailers, and so the things that they wanted when they bought a car would be able to transport a lot of equipment around a lot of the time. And then there are other people who go camping maybe once a year. This might be, the first time that you've been camping since having kids. And that isn't what we were thinking about when we bought the car, because that's not what we do most of. But it's okay, a car got us here. But so if you go hiking 5 days a week, we might suggest one kind of sling for you. And if you want something to put your baby in while you do the dishes, or you want to wear it permanently around the house 24/7, we might suggest a different kind of sling for you. And if you want something that fits in your handbag and you just use it for the occasional shopping trip when the baby really doesn't want to be in the pram, we're probably going to suggest a different kind of sling for you, because what you want to do with it, and also your shape and your body size and the age of your child and all sorts of things are going to influence what is the best kind of sling, because the best kind of sling is the one that is going to be right for you now.
And your needs will change.
And that's the other thing that I say. A lot of people also want to go, how long is it going to last? Like, I don't know.
It will last
I can carry my 4-year-old in this sling, but you might not be able to carry your 4-year-old in this sling. And if you pick something on the basis of it might be perfect in 6 months, when it isn't perfect now, it might not be perfect in 6 months. And then what you've bought is something hoping that at some point it was going to work for you, and it might never work.
I have this skirt that I'm now using again, that I bought when I was 14. Well, my mum bought it for me, actually, and I'm not 14 anymore. I'm a little bit older, not much older. Yeah, just a few years.
Same age as Emily.
Yeah, long enough after buying that skirt, and you know what? It still lasted that long. Should I still be wearing it? Well, of course I should, because I do whatever I want. Do I use it in the same way? Would I use it in winter? Probably not. It's very, very small, so I wouldn't on its own. But lasting is a bit of a fun word anyway. So because the sling you'll buy will probably last for years, but your child will change, and the seasons will change, and your needs will change, your activities will change, what your child will want to do will change, and everything changes. Who you are tomorrow will be different to who you are today, and you have to embrace that concept. The sling might seem to not last for as long as you wish for it to do, but it will probably still work for the time that you need it to work. So
this is true though of all parenting. So at CalmFamily, it's really important that we make sure that everyone understands that this isn't about one style or type of parenting that we kind of put across to everybody. Every parent can benefit from this, because what we talk about is what works for you in the moment. We can, we were talking about the fact that we don't like being called experts, because an expert takes away the power from other people to know their situation, know their individual child, and to really understand what's going on for them. And it's so individual. So what we do is we talk about understanding children much more, understanding infants, understanding toddlers, so that and then give frameworks and tools where they can be picked and chosen from. So you can go, okay, I'm going to try this, and okay, that's not working very well, I'll try something different. So people have asked me, at camp, and there's lots of children around, like, what would you do in this situation? And I go, I don't know, what could you do in this situation? Right? And then I go, well, this is an option, this is an option, this is an option. How can you think of any other options? And they're like, yes, I could do this. Like someone said to me, or what would you work with, right? How do you wake up a sleepy baby that you want to be more awake? And I said, well, what might you do?
Went to sleep at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and he slept until his normal bedtime. And I went to get him up. I was like, because he's going to wake up at 11 o'clock. So I got him up. He cried, and he cried, and he cried, and I put him back to bed. He was still asleep. And he might get up in the middle of the night, but there was nothing I could do to make him happy and awake.
The conversation we had is, right, you could do this and you could do this. And I said, what would you do if you were in this situation? And
somebody came and woke me up from a nap. I said, I would want a cup of coffee in half an hour on my own with my iPad to come too.
And I
that's what
said,
I'm like.
you could give your
do
child
that.
coffee. But
And
let's think about the reasons why that might not be a good idea. There are pros. He would wake up, right? And there are cons. And we can guess it out. Yeah, he was there possibly forever.
I tried giving him a tablet, as in, you know, as in kind of tablet, just
Drug the child.
just to be clear. I tried playing Sarah and Doc on a tablet with him, and it was a bit like, nah.
I'd like to sleep, please. Good to hear.
Get him back to bed.
So yeah, I mean, you said to
Ask
me,
in the morning how that goes.
Could I get him back to sleep? I went, no. Yeah, why not? That work for you?
Let's shake the law.
Yeah.
There's nothing on it.
There's a whole wall of windows of faces. Now,
choice you make, at the end of the day, there will be consequences.
Yeah.
Some that you will be able to deal with, and some that you will struggle with. But you know, even through all these options, sometimes how much patience do you start the day with? You know, we all have things that challenge us. So even if on paper we know what to do, sometimes we don't do what we wish we had done if we were, you know, with more patience. So you miss the choice in and out, and sometimes when you deal with it, when you have a bit more patience. So you know, sometimes they need to go back to sleep.
Be the good enough human.
Yeah, you absolutely have to be. You have to be the perfectly good enough human, right? That's the perfectly good enough human, because it's really important. Like maybe your ideal is to always be able to put them in a sling, right? But some days, if you're feeling really touched out as a mum and that's really not what you need, then maybe someone else can do that for you, or maybe there's another way. So it's not like this is a tool for everybody in every given moment, but it is one that we know works for a lot of people in a lot of moments.
And it's short term versus long term. Yeah. And sometimes we know that long term we want to make some decisions, and we have to take some that are more in the short term because that's all we can deal with at the time.
Sometimes you do just fob your child off with biscuits because you need to go to the toilet, or you need
sugar
to not cry, or because you're secretly eating biscuits and they discovered you. And you can't not share them then. Just sometimes you do things that you think, like sometimes you just get really angry and you shout at your kids and then you feel dreadful about it because they were just being kids, but turns out that you're just being an adult, and that it happens.
And that's a really important thing to talk to people about in general, that it isn't an all or nothing thing. You can't be perfect all the time. It's impossible. And you need to accept that life is life and give yourself tools to live that life in a way that suits you.
But I think you need to cut yourself some slack. You know, you're not perfect the way you are, and you know people would not want you to be any different because you are who you are with exactly what you do. You know, and that makes you an interesting person. Nobody wants a machine next to them. So you know, embrace who you are, whatever that is, and you know people love you just the way you are, and your children think that you're the best thing in the world, and that's why they want to spend so much time with you at the end of the day. It's because you are the best people in their lives. And they would not change you for the world. You know, even though they might want more sugar. But
more time on the
you know, if you ask them who their favorite person in the world is, it's you. You know, and if you ask yourself who your favorite person in the world is, it's probably them as well. So just enjoy that and be kind to yourself. Be compassionate. You know, there's enough rubbish happening, and you know, you don't need someone else to
make you feel rubbish about it.
You know, don't create your own rod by being unhappy with what you do.
I find it really interesting. We come from the same perspective. You talk about being perfect just the way you are, so you like the word perfect, okay? And I think that's why we've kind of come up with this perfectly good enough human thing, right? So you really focus on you are perfect how you are, and I agree with that completely. However, I find it difficult because the word perfect for me it feels quite unachievable, right? And the reason we talk about good enough in CalmFamily is because it's a psychological theory. And it's really, really important to understand that actually if we change the conversation around about trying to be perfect, so you say trying to be perfect all the time, actually we should never ever be perfect, because what we're trying to do is be good enough. We create this attachment, and all those little moments when for just normal natural reasons we can't meet our baby's needs or our child's needs, however old they are, those are the moments when our child naturally learns a little bit more independence without being pushed there. And so actually being good enough is more perfect than trying to be perfect all the time.
Well, yeah.
So I love the combination of those two ideas.
Yeah. To me, it's a marketing thing. You know, people. What I mean by that is that the advertising industry, which, you know, I'm not using their tool very well. That's probably why I'm not a millionaire, right? It's you know, they have created the concept that we have flaws. Yeah, you have flaws, and therefore you need to fix it. Yeah. You need to fix what you look like. You need to fix what you have, the size of your car, the size of your house, the color of your things, the number of clothes that you own, everything. So you spend more money, right? It's all about getting your money, because we are in this kind of world. So it's by making you feel you're not good enough that you need that, because you're not perfect. You need to buy perfection. And to me, saying that we are perfect is kind of showing my finger to this world and saying, so you know what? I have no flaws. I have no flaws, because as a human, I know that it's all about growing and allowing myself to grow and giving myself the chance to grow. And to grow, I need to accept that I am exactly where I am and where I'm meant to be, you know. But at the end of the day, what's behind both of our concepts is exactly the same thing.
No, it is. So I think I'm good enough, and that's perfect.
And that's perfect.
Yeah.
There you go. You're good enough, and that's perfect.
I think so. We're getting like lots of comments from people who are like, you know, I'm carrying my 3-year-old, I'm carrying my 6-month-old, and it is right for us. Yeah. And we are getting comments that they're not like that they're doing the wrong thing, but they're saying this is the right choice because, you know, they've got different scenarios. There's people who are in all different kind of situations, but they are. The thing that's kind of connecting them is that they're trying to make the right choices for their family in their situations right now. And that's changed over time, and things have changed, but they're still looking for new tools and new things, and that evolves.
It does. Like the seasons. Yeah. I like talking about the seasons because quite often it's like, I wish my child would do this. I wish they would sleep better. I wish they would eat differently. I wish they would sit still when I tell them to. I wish. And it's like, you know what? When I go on holiday, when I go camping, I wish it would not rain. You know, and sometimes I don't control it. It rains. Yeah. You know, and you can wish for the sun to return, and the whole time it's raining, you're miserable. Or you can accept that you have no control over it. It's just the way it is. And you're going to go and dance out there. Or you're going to get everybody indoors and enjoy that time together. And the children have now done with that. They're behind the window. It's my son.
I thought they'd figure that out earlier.
Hi, Samuel. So, hi, Samuel. Let's sweat water.
Well, I think what we'll do is we've been talking for 45 minutes. We'll wind up. I told you it would go very quick.
Are there any comments that we need to answer?
No, I think we've got anything else. Lots of really empowered people. So that's feeling like.
Well, we'll probably come, you know, tonight after we've had a nice sit by the fire and enjoy time with our families. I think we'll then probably before bed go and answer all your comments and thank you for your time.
So I think like we want to say a massive thank you for Lorette and Emily for coming to chat this in, because this isn't something they both do very often. We were very keen to have them to come and do this.
We were not worried at all, right?
No, not at all.
But thank you for doing it, because you put it together and we wouldn't have done it otherwise.
And they're really tech savvy. You know, I love it.
So I love it.
She's actually my web expert. So I really like it.
I have my moments. It's all good.
She's my expert. Yeah, I use it for her.
It's just all big.
Kathy likes your concept of perfection, guys.
Yeah, I love you, Kat.
Well, I love everybody.
And
marshmallows are required. They are priorities, you know.
We need to go. So we need to go because if the marshmallows are coming out, we want to be out there.
Yeah, I would rather be eating marshmallows.
Thank you for watching. Because I know some of you have. And if you are interested in knowing more, please go and see these wonderful people. You can find their websites at CalmFamily.org and Slingababy.co.uk. You can find them on Facebook and CalmFamily and Slingababy.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And Instagram.
But we're on holiday for a week, so don't expect answers too quickly.
Yeah, so you'll get answers from CalmFamily.
Yeah,
Actually,
Meg is probably helping. Thank you, Meg. Even if you're not listening,
thank you, Sarah.
So we're not answering. Well, I answered someone this morning.
We're not answering. Except
No, I'm not.
we are.
No, they had a special permission for the internet. Everybody else had no access to the internet.
Yeah, so we're not working, except that we're secretly all working.
Yeah, on 3G, very slowly.
And we will, but obviously we'll still be on Facebook. So if you do want to talk to anything specifically about carrying, then get in touch with us. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and on our website at expereinces.co.uk. And if you go onto our website on Monday, hopefully, should my technical wizardry have worked,
That one, I think that's a vacation.
that's no vacation. I will log on to it. You might find that there is. You might find on Monday that there's a little special offer on the website. So if you are looking to buy a sling, that might be the time to go and have a little look.
Oh, yeah. It's a sling thing. And it's a camping thing.
Yeah.
It's a marshmallow thing.
And it's a sling win. Oh, our It's a Sling thing winners, we contacted them.
It's a Sling win.
Winners
are Leanne Little, who's been chatting to us this evening, Tanya from the SC family, and Mummy of 3061117.
The memory.
That's an Instagram name, right?
That is an Instagram name.
And we've been in touch with all of you. But have a look. If you have a look for the It's a Sling Win hashtag, we will announce probably in the next couple of days what the next competition, what the next prize will be. But post your photos.
Yeah, post photos using the hashtag It's a Sling Win, all one word. And at the end of the month, well, actually on the 17th of the month, we will judge winners, because so much stuff happens at the end. We didn't judge, we generated.
We
generate a winner.
It's very, very stressful when you have to judge people's photos.
I know. Tell me about this. I do a competition every year, and it drives me insane. And I end up giving gifts to everybody. So, if you want a voucher, Christmas competition in December, you will get something. Everyone gets something. Yeah.
And if you do want to train with Sling, if you do want to do baby wearing training, all of us will highly recommend Slingababy.
And then they'll buy it because they have to camp, right?
Yeah. It has been transformative, and we are incredibly grateful to Lorette for facilitating everything that she has, and for doing the camp, because it's going to be amazing and we're going to love this week.
Yeah, and forever grateful. I think my big family.
So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. And yeah, just if you've got any actual questions that you want to pose these two lovely women here, please do pop them in the comments, and I'm pretty sure that they'll come and answer them. So
yeah, we'll sneak our phones and answer them anyway.
Well, hiding in the toilet with the audience.
Never been a thing.
Never. But there's always the audience.
It's not at all what happened then. Your daughter was putting her head onto my toilet.
Okay, so all right.
Leave it there.
Selling perfection. This is the image of paradise.
Yes, right. I'm going to come and walk towards the camera now, so you're going to get a lovely view of my tummy. Goodbye.
Bye.